Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 11. And this video is for Lindsey and Mark the Shark. I do separate videos on the different couples. At the end of this video, you can click on the link and it will take you to the next video. But this is for Mark the Shark. So we celebrating the 1 month anniversary. And one of the things you realize about all these celebrations with the different couples, one of the things you realize is that for all the troublemakers, their spouses had to plan the dates because, you know, troublemakers, they got to have everything they way. Everybody got to cater to them and make sure they're comfortable and happy and they feeling safe and secure and they're getting everything they want. Let me tell you, when you pouring into them, they happy as a clam. So you see Elijah was happy because Katina was pouring into him. You saw Jasmina was all happy. We ain't seen her happy all season long because Michael was pouring into her. And now we see Lindsey is happy because Mark is pouring to them. That's the problem with the Katinas, Jasminas, and the Elijahs. They definitely know how to receive, but they're going to need to learn how to give too sometimes. But when you give it to them, let me tell you, they are happy. And that's what you see this episode. Lindsey was happy the whole time because Lindsey loves attention. She loves getting everything she wants. She loves you doing exactly what she wants you to do. That's her happy place. So we find out that Mark the Shark got fired from his job or laid off, or he was told don't come back to filming is over. I don't know what you want to call it. Fired, laid off, or a furlough, whichever one you want to call, but he ain't got no job. And it was sure interesting because when he came home and told Lindsey he ain't got a job, you know what Lindsey told him to do? Then you need to just concentrate on me. She ain't like Noy. Noy says you need to go back out and get a job. But Lindsey said, oh no, you can use that time to concentrate on me. There go Lindsey trying to gain another foothold in Mark to control him. Y'all know what that was about. Let me tell you. Let Mark not have a job. She already complained about with his income was too low and she didn't like the job he asked because he wasn't even making no money. Now you want him to take even more time off and not make no money? Please, Mark ain't falling for that. Mark like, I need to find a job. But nah, not Lindsey. Now Lindsey's turning this into a big deal. You need to concentrate on me. You need to concentrate on me and some kids. Girl, what are you talking about? This girl loves to be in a position of control. She's just trying to gain more leverage over Mark. Let me tell you, Lindsey likes to say she's helpful. She's not. She uses moments when you're weak or down to step in, to come and help, and then control you. Because that's how Lindsey maintains control, and that's how she feels safe and secure. If she can control you, then she feels safe and secure. But she is smothering Mark. Mark can't take it. Every time Lindsey rubs the back of his head or grabs him, he actually starts to get triggered now. It's almost like it's just too much control. You know when someone's trying to control you, you don't even want them to touch you. You're like, don't touch me, don't touch me. This is the type of reaction that Mark is starting to have to Lindsey. He can't stand it. He don't even want her rubbing his head no more. Lindsey keeps saying, oh, well, you're just not used to someone being there. And Mark keeps saying, yeah, maybe that's what it is. I'm not used to someone being there. No, that's not what it is, Mark. That's not what it is. You may not have had anyone used to being there for you, but the other thing you're cluing in on is even if Lindsey's there for you, it doesn't feel good. See, that's the problem. When you talk about people who say, oh, I love to help people, love to give gifts. If the gift you're giving is not a gift that makes a person feel good, then it's not a gift. And that's what Lindsey's doing. Lindsey calls herself giving something to Mark, being there for him. But here's the problem. It doesn't feel good for Mark. So you know what you need to stop doing, Lindsey? Stop doing it. He, just like when she was rubbing on his hand, he kept saying, stop doing that. I'm not a 2-year-old. I'm a grown man. And then she goes over there and goes like this at the dinner table. See that little dig right there? See, as soon as Mark told her, don't do that to me, she didn't like what he said. And what'd she do? What? Questioning his manhood. But Mark did a good job planning their anniversary rendezvous. It was really Lindsey's. It was really up Lindsey's avenue. He got her that plant terrarium. He knew just what to do. Even Chris got to come back to get a little extra check for a little cameo appearance. So we knew we knew that Chris and Mark were still good friends. They had formed a special bond. So it's nice to see that Chris was back on camera. He looks like he was doing well. He went with him, helped go shopping for Lindsey. So that was good. And I think Mark hit it out the ballpark. He really did a lot of things that Lindsey liked. Well, Mark the Shark is very clear. He's not in love with Lindsey. He's nowhere near it. He is very, very clear on that. In fact, I think Lindsey knows that she's not in love with him either because you know what? She doesn't feel secure with Mark. She wants Mark to do certain things to make her feel secure, and he's not doing it. But she doesn't understand that she runs and pushes him away. It's the same dynamic Jasmina had with Jasmina has with Michael, if you watch my video, it's the same dynamic that Olajuwon has with the Katina. But the difference between Olajuwon and Katina is Katina has good balance and energy. And because she's so balanced emotionally, she actually has capacity for Olajuwon. But the problem with Jasmina and Michael is Jasmina's foolishness. Michael didn't have the capacity for her foolishness. But now that Jasmina is softening up, it's actually too late now, because I think Michael his gas tank is all out. And that's what's happening with Martha Shark and Lindsey. Mark didn't have the capacity for all of Lindsey's extraness. It's too much. He's overwhelmed by it. But Lindsey had a good time, because as long as you feeding the beast, she's happy. As long as she's getting everything she wants, she's happy. And she was happy on this little rendezvous. But if you pay really close attention to what the gifts that Mark gave her, it's really telling on what he thinks about Lindsey. So one of the stones he gave her was one for accepting change and improving self-esteem. You hear that? Self-esteem. Mark is clued in on the fact that a lot of Lindsey's control is actually because she's insecure and then she's afraid. And that makes her hold on to things more tightly. It probably has something to do with her past, her mother, abandonment, all that stuff be going back to our past. We know that. She probably needs to get some therapy with it, because it's actually interfering with her relationships. She's probably pushing a lot of her mates away. But that tells you that Mark is clued in on it, because he gave her a stone for that. He also gave her another stone. He gave her a stone for protective energy, calming energy, and, to repel negativity, which we all know she ain't got no calming spirit, and she's negative. And he also gave her a stone to ward off the evil eye. It should have been the evil mouth, because that's really what it is. It's an evil mouth. So Mark has learned a lot about Lindsey. So he gave her some stones that hopefully help her. But that fact that he gave her one about self-esteem should really make a lot of people clue in on what he's realized going on with Lindsey. She comes off as tough and brash, just like Olajuwon does, but lying underneath that are scared little kids. They must have had a big fight after the whole not having a job thing, because they bring it up again on their anniversary day. And here's Mark again saying, no, getting a job is number one. And I don't know why Lindsey didn't understand that. I thought every woman knows that a man, his work is his pride and joy. I guess unless they hanging out with Steve. Steve might need to marry a couple of people. Steve might need to marry Olajuwon for some cooking and cleaning. And then he might marry Lindsey, since Lindsey don't mind that her man don't work. But you hear Mark's language. It's all about what would our life look like after decision day, when they were at that dinner talking to everybody. He's really backtracking. He's really backing up. I think Mark has pretty much already come to the conclusion that Lindsey might be a little bit too much for him, that he can't handle it. And some of the things he's thinking that maybe he could adjust to, but he's starting to see some things he couldn't adjust to. So I don't know if Lindsey's going to start to be able to make the adjustments. Even though we're only at the month mark of the couples, we're more than halfway through the episode. So I think we're only going to have maybe about 4 episodes or so before decision day. When they were at the dinner, Lindsey was quick to point out that she and Olajuwon are just alike, when Olajuwon was acting a fool with Katina. But that's not a compliment, Lindsey. That really isn't a compliment. And so everybody knows that Olajuwon is off the chain. So for you to say you like him, I wonder, do you realize it's a negative and not a positive? That's really a negative similarity, not a positive one. Both of them have an inability to control their they don't have an emotional regulation. They're not able to control their emotions. They just bomb it, whatever they're thinking, they just bombing it all over you. And that roller coaster of a relationship, that will wear a person out. And unfortunately, Mark is not Katina. Mark doesn't have the calm demeanor that Katina has in order to deal with Olajuwon. Mark doesn't have that. And so Mark has worn thin faster than Katina. I think Lindsey still is just thinking about what Mark needs to do differently, how he's giving her whiplash. She's still not looking at what she needs to do differently, what she's contributing. Anytime someone tells her she needs to, pull off the gas pedal, she just doesn't want to seem to acknowledge it. Her solution just seems, well, Mark needs to speed up. It's nothing about her slowing down. It's always just about Mark needs to speed up. He needs to catch up. It's the same thing that Jasmina did to Michael, that he was the problem. It's the same thing what Olajuwon tried to do to Katina, that Katina's the problem. They all are really just similar. Maybe we see some videos from next week, and I think she tries to touch Mark again. He's like, stop grabbing me, stop talking to me. I'm telling you, Mark is triggered by Lindsey. It's too much for him. Not only now is it just not the words, it's actual the physical touch. He's actually starting to get really repulsed by it. But that's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.